This is the 126th US Open. We're coming to you live from the media centre at Shinnecock Hills, and I'm joined as ever by the hardest working man in golf, the wonderful Brian Keogh.
Thank you, Paul.
Brian, we've left here every evening with a bounce in our stride after some very long days.
Yeah.
How are we feeling now?
I feel like I've gone 3 rounds with Shinnecock Hills, like the rest of the field, bruised and battered and exhausted. They've been long days, and for these guys out there today, even though it was 2 balls, another long day, hot day, windy day certainly for the early guys. They got absolutely hammered by the wind. It's just attritional, even though the greens are sort of softish and they've been easy on the setup for most of the week. It's been tough.
Yeah. Okay. Now, you're not playing the course,
no.
Right? You're sitting in here with coffee and all of the amenities at your
trudging
disposal.
around occasionally.
So there's no excuse for you to be exhausted. Let me suggest there's another element at play here. Because I think if you walk around the desks here among our colleagues, they're all feeling the same. It's a sense of deflation, really. I'm deflated.
That hasn't thrown up a packed leaderboard with a great story at the end of it.
That it feels over.
It does feel over. It does feel over. Even though Scotty Scheffler is in that little group, 6 shots behind Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
He's playing so well, and things have gone so well for him, and he's won a major before. You just sort of think, a lot's going to have to go wrong.
Okay, so here, let's cut to the bottom line.
Yeah.
So on Thursday, Wyndham Clark led the tournament by 2.
Yeah.
On Friday it was 4, and tonight he leads by 6.
Yeah.
Now I've just been watching Paul McGinley. You might see him over his shoulder on the Golf Channel, and he thinks it's not over. And I don't know whether he's got some shares in this tournament, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, if you look at the history of this tournament, I mean, not many people finish under par in this tournament. So is Wyndham Clark going to have a bad day, going to have a bad hole, make an 8? I mean, there was a chap there early this morning, made an 8 on the first hole.
Okay.
5 putts. So it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
And he's got pressure because he's got Scotty Scheffler playing alongside him, who's gone for the career Grand Slam.
Okay.
Scheffler played well today.
Okay, Scheffler played well today. Give me the stats on 6-shot leads. You've got them there.
Yeah, I mean, history is with Clark here. So 6 shots leads or more in majors. 21 players have had a 6-shot lead or more after 54 holes. 20 of them have won. Only one hasn't won, and I think a lot of people will probably remember who that was. It was Augusta, 1996, Greg Norman, when he just had Nick fouled over relentlessly.
You're rubbing your hands there.
With Lee, at the possibility of something like that happening.
Oh, okay.
That might be interesting. I think he's playing too well, Wyndham Clark. I think he's putting nearly better than anybody else in the field.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's ranked 3rd for putting. Scrambling today was what kept him going. He didn't really play his very best, but he scrambled brilliantly. He was first. He's first for scrambling. He's made the fewest number of bogeys of anybody else in the field, and he's made a couple of eagles as well. So he's got a lot of tools.
Okay, let's get back to the sense of deflation in here, because I don't get a sense there's a great deal of enthusiasm for Wyndham Clark as a US Open champion.
No, I don't think he's the most popular man in the field. Obviously, he had that controversy at there was the PGA Quail Hollow, where he fired his driver behind him in a fit of pique. Took out a big lump. Yeah, took a big lump out of an advertising hoarding, his own sponsor actually, and nearly took the head off a marshal who was standing there. And then, of course, he goes to Oakmont, doesn't play well, and destroys the lockers, and he's barred from Oakmont. So they're going back there in 2033. So that'll be interesting if they forgive him before then. They asked him to do anger management and all the rest of it. So, there's been a few rules, controversies as well along the way. Yeah. So he's not the most. They think he's a bit of a phony, some guy. It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
He's not the most popular. I mean, Scotty Scheffler, not the most wonderfully charismatic, but what a golfer he is. I mean,
tell us about Scotty, because
he went over the first 2 holes.
He went out this morning 7 shots off.
Tied for 11th.
Level 7 par, shots off
7
the lead.
behind Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
Bogey's the first 2 holes, and you think, well, he's just going nowhere, and then he just turned it on the back 9. 32 on the back. Chipped in at the 14th and a couple of fist pumps, birdie the next.
Yeah, where was the fist pump?
I was on the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Rory was quite near. There was a roar that you could hear from way over here, which is about a mile away, So he was really up for it. He's obviously going for the career Grand Slam tomorrow. It's his 30th birthday tomorrow. It's Father's Day, and he's big into all that carry on, So there's all that romantic. They love all that stuff on say.
Jesus, I'm starting to root for Wyndham Clark.
He's got a sniff.
There's another question. Do we want Wyndham Clark to win the US Open, or do we want Scotty Scheffler to join the career Grand Slam club? I think I'm almost rooting for Clark now.
No, the best. I think another guy joining the career Grand Slam. Scheffler's been unbelievable over the last few years. I think he's. If he did it,
it's coming too soon for me.
To come from 6 shots behind to do it. Yeah,
well, look, if he does it,
would be historic stuff, wouldn't it? It really would be. He's.
You're a good person, Brian. You've confirmed it once again. No, you have.
But he's some player. He really is. He's just relentless. He didn't even putt particularly well today. He was out there after his round, and this US Open, especially at Shinnecock Hills, always at Shinnecock Hills, it comes down to putting. You remember Retief Goosen, what was it, back in 2004, yes. 11 single putts. Now the place is not like an ice rink as it was back then, but the greens are getting bumpy. Yeah. They didn't really put any water on the course today. It's not going to be that windy tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see.
That's the point that McGinley made. It isn't going to be that windy tomorrow. Yeah. It's set up for someone to have a crack.
If they go easy on the pins. We haven't seen the pins yet.
If they go easy on the pins,
yeah. So maybe they might want to make it a little bit more exciting. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, now let's talk about Rory, because I think we're both agreed it is over for him.
Yeah.
And I need you to explain that to me, Brian, because he went out today, tied 11th like Scotty, 7 shots behind like Scotty, and started very differently to Scotty. He turned, he hit the back nine. When he went on the back nine, he was only 4 shots behind. So he cut the deficit to Clark to 4.
Yeah.
Heading into the back nine.
Sure.
He hits a stupendous drive down the 10th. He's only, what is he short of?
He nearly drove it up on the green.
Nearly drove it up on the green and walks off a bogey for the 2nd day in a row.
Yeah, he chipped it over the green.
Right.
The front nine, it was the putting. He had an early 3-putt, but then he birdied, the 5th. He birdied the 6th. He held his 60-footer from off the green. He birdied the par 3, the 7th. He was going along brilliant. Long at the 10th anyway, bogey. 3-putt at the 12th. 3 putts at the 14th.
Yeah, the 12th.
At the 13th, he almost drove the green, drove it to the bunker, didn't get it up and down for birdie. 3-putt the 14th. He's in the rough off the tee at the 15th, another bogey. And then at the 18th, he hit it 405 yards and carried his wedge just about 5 yards too far in the fescue. No chance. Did well to make bogey. So he just tee to green this week. He's 44th. He's hasn't been driving at his very best. He's put it pretty well, but just not quite sharp enough. Not quite on it. Shinnecock Hills 1, Rory McIlroy 0.
Yeah, there's another theory for what happened to him today, and that is, and you're looking at it right here.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so yesterday,
the jinx.
Yesterday was 3 on the heading to the 10th. I walked out and he went bogey, bogey, bogey. Today he plays a brilliant front 9. I walked over the bridge to the 10th again, followed him down. He goes bogey, par bogey, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, this is interesting because can you see that shirt I'm wearing there?
I can. Yeah.
You know what it says? You know what the label says?
Oh, it's LACC.
Who won LACC?
W. Clark.
Wyndham Clark. And who did he beat by 1 shot?
Or McIlroy.
And this is the shirt I wore today going out to see Rory.
I think it needs to be burned.
Will you do it or will I?
I think I've got a lighter.
Okay, what's your logo here? What's this penguin?
That was a birthday present from my wife.
Oh.
Penguin, yeah. It's for this place, this media centre, which is at about -2 most of the time. So we go. Anyway, it's going to be interesting tomorrow. It'll be historic either way. Either he's going to skate away with it, or we could have a bit of a cavalry charge if he makes a couple of mistakes.
Okay, well,
unlikely.
I hope it's interesting tomorrow. It certainly was deflating today, but let's finish with some good news. We have a new amateur champion.
Stuart Grehan, what a fantastic win, Royal Liverpool, where Joe Carr won as well. Yeah, the ninth Irishman.
And that means he qualifies to play in the Open.
He qualifies to play in the Open in Birkdale, and he gets an invitation to the US Open next year, Pebble Beach. Not bad.
Yeah.
And assuming all goes as planned, the Masters will invite him down to Augusta National for the Masters. So
that's a nice prize.
That is.
But the really big news is that Schrodinger's cat won the 322 at Redcar, proving once again that racing is a brilliant game and this is a mugs game. We'll see you tomorrow.